So I just watched The Fabelmans in theaters, and yeah, it was fantastic. I honestly didn't have any expectations when I entered the theater. While Steven Spielberg is one of my favorite directors, I do concede that he hasn't had the greatest track record as of late. Not that his recent movies were bad per se, but definitely nothing noteworthy. Well, it is my absolute pleasure to report that The Fabelmans is one of the best movies of the year, and also one of the best movies Spielberg's made since the glory days of Jurassic Park and Schindler's List, almost 3 decades ago. Let me start by saying that it's so refreshing to watch a movie that doesn't lecture to you, that doesn't pander, that isn't trying to shove an agenda down your throat, that doesn't feel like a corporate product rushed out of the factory. On the contrary, it really does feel like a work of art, like an actual human being put thought and effort behind every single decision that was made. But above all else, this movie feels like a labor of love. This is Spielberg's love letter to cinema, and as a person who adores both Spielberg and cinema, this was a match made in heaven for me. What can I say? I'm a sucker for films about films. I eat it up every single time, and this time was no exception. I honestly can't stress this enough when I say that there's no better choice to direct a film about the power of cinema than Steven Spielberg, one of the most cinematic directors of all time. His movies have a really distinct feel, and this one was no different. The camera work by his regular cinematographer Janusz Kaminski gives breath to the film and makes everything feel alive. Oh, and I have to give a special shout out to the final shot of the film, which was just perfect. One of the best final shots of any film I've ever seen. The whole finale of the film was great in general, with a surprise cameo appearance at the very end that made me so happy, but I'm getting off topic. The film is wonderfully edited by Michael Kahn, who's been editing Spielberg's films since Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And of course, John Williams' score is grade A as usual. Spielberg is simply a master, not only at what he does, but also at choosing the best people to work with him. It really feels like the Spielberg magic is back in this movie. His usual collaborators do an excellent job. The story was loosely based on Steven Spielberg's childhood and adolescence, but honestly, I couldn't care less about that. He could have written the entire story out of whole cloth and it wouldn't have made any difference to me. The thing that I care about was that the focus of The Fabelmans was to tell a story and make you care about the characters. And care about the characters I did. I related to the main character Sam so much. I felt everything he felt. Those early childhood scenes when he discovers the magic of the movies for the first time. Oh, I had a dumb smile on my face throughout. I really enjoyed myself. This film reminded me why I love movies so much. Both the magic of watching a good film, but also the real-life magic it takes to create one. But that's not the only reason I related with the character. His interactions with the rest of his family members really resonated with me as well. The entire family dynamic is one of the highlights of the film. After all, it is called The Fabelmans, and every single member of the family had a distinct personality that helped him or her stand out. I especially liked Sam's sisters. They're such troopers the way they helped him make his early films when they were all young kids. It's just so adorable. The child actors in the movie did a really good job. Spielberg did always have a way with kids after all. I mean, he practically is a kid in every way, save for, actual biology. The acting by the adults, on the other hand, was a bit hit or miss. Paul Dano is the standout in my opinion. He delivers a heartwarming yet slightly tragic performance as Sam's father. But other than him, we have Seth Rogen, who plays a friend of the family, and he's just alright, nothing too special. But I think the weakest performance of the film was Carey Mulligan's. She wasn't bad, but I think her acting was a tad uneven. There were moments when she touched my heart, but there were other moments when she slightly took me out of the film with her delivery. This is a good time to talk about the negatives of the movie, and the movie does have a few. The Fabelmans is a 2.5 hour long film, and I'd be lying if I told you that the length wasn't felt. The movie does drag at times, and I think it could have been shorter and better for it. Also, without spoiling too much, I will say that I didn't like the direction the story went near the end in regard to the family specifically. Certain decisions were made by certain characters, and the movie attempts to justify them, in my opinion, without success. This whole angle near the end just made me dislike Carey Mulligan's character even more, which is a shame. But if I'm being honest, all of these things I've just said, these are minor nitpicks, and they didn't detract too much from my overall enjoyment of the film. At the end of the day, the magic of the movies overcame all the obstacles. The Fabelmans is a wonderfully made, sweet, and touching ode to one of my greatest loves: cinema. It's filled with likable characters, emotional moments, funny moments, and one of the best endings of the year that made me leave the theater grinning from ear to ear. Apparently, Spielberg still has my number, even after all these years. And I'm giving this film an 8 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button. It'll help my channel out. And if you want to see more of my videos, then subscribe to my channel so you won't miss a thing. Thank you all very much, and have a good one.